wasn't there, I'd be hitting 100 right now. I love this spot. Kind of makes you think he's waiting for you, doesn't it? Now he's coming this way. Almost makes you wonder. One of them saw me. I've seen 3 or 4 cops already just in the last 15 minutes. Anywho, just out for a ride on Sunday morning. Coming out in the Issaquah area. It's kind of farm country right here. Nice twisty roads. Something important I want to talk about is getting a riding mentor or a riding buddy. I guess I say mentor because ideally it's someone who has more experience than you. For me, this was my brother. He's been riding for several years before I got started. He really knows a lot about bikes and gear, and he's done quite a bit of long trips, like, you know, several days, weeks, even went around the country for a couple months. And I haven't done anything that extreme. I've only done day trips. But it was helpful for me getting started to know what to buy, how much to spend on it, what was too much, what, you know, wasn't enough, buy nice, buy twice, all that. And help me buy a bike and which bike is right and where to look for bikes. So I think that's pretty important. You know, not everybody has that luxury, but I think it's important to try to find somebody that can help you out a little bit. Whether it's riding tips like how to shift smoothly, how to downshift when you're coming up to a light, where to position your feet on the pegs, your butt on the seat, where to lean, where to look. You know, you should learn a lot of that from the course, and hopefully you read up. I read, I forget what the book's called, but How to Ride a Motorcycle Safely, something along those lines. And you know, if nothing else, when you go for a ride, that person can lead, and you can, you know, assuming your bikes are somewhat equally capable, you can kind of follow them in turns, almost like if you're a mountain biker or a motocross rider and you're following someone on a jump the first time so you can gauge the speed. You can do that for turns too. If they're not kind of out of their mind and always about to crash, you can trust that they kind of know what they're doing, and maybe they even know the road, which is always helpful. And you can take turn the same speed as them. And as long as you're smooth and you're not grabbing too much brake or throttle in the middle of the turn, you know, you can be confident that you'll make it out, and that'll help you, you know, kind of gain some confidence and know what you're capable of, what you're comfortable with, and what your bike is capable of. So, you know, he really helped me look at the bikes that were available, what kind of bike would be good. What's going on here? Not sure what this is. That cop was really telling me to stop though, and I was trying to hit the brakes. Must be some kind of procession. This is crazy. So many riders. I'm not sure if I should wave to all of them or what. I can't just hold my hand up there forever, but this is pretty cool. Unfortunately, something tells me it might be for a funeral or something. Some kind of procession. Anyway, moving right along. That was interesting. Yeah, he helped me kind of peruse Craigslist, what kind of engine size would be good. You know, he knew I kind of wanted to have fun and be able to ride quick, but I also wasn't looking to spend 10 grand on, you know, a super sport, and wanted to be somewhat comfortable and wanted to be something that's somewhat easy to learn how to ride. I've been on a mountain bike for quite a bit of my life, so I can drive a stick, so I kind of knew I'd pick it up quick, but I'm not the kind of guy that needs to have, you know, the sickest bike right off the bat. I wanted a bike that could be versatile. You know, I've bought the Gavy cases for this bike, and it can be, you know, kind of a small engine sport tourer, and it can also be, you know, kind of a twisties, almost like a sport bike, which is kind of what I'm doing today. But it's good to have someone who knows a little bit about the market and which bikes are good and which bikes are reliable is a really important one. I won't say you can't go wrong with the 4 Japanese brands, but you'd be hard pressed to find a, you know, unreliable bike, or I guess a consistently, repeatedly unreliable bike. But it is really important when you're buying off Craigslist or something to have somebody maybe even come with you. I had him come with me and take a look at the bike. I even had him test ride it because I hadn't really ridden it all yet. So I kind of wanted him to ride the bike first and take a look at it. So there's kind of a million things they can help you with. Of course, maintenance. He's helped me do little things like, you know, help me when I should be lubing the chain and what to check on and what to adjust here and there. And he, you know, he kind of takes that way further than I do. He's way more into working on his bike than I am, changing tires on his own and such. Whereas I I mean, it's not that I avoid it at all costs, but I'm a little bit less about like always tinkering with things and upgrading things. But he's really helpful to have around, because he says buy the service manual and follow directions, get this is a good brand, that's a bad brand, replacement parts, what to do. And on the dirt bike, it's been really helpful, because my dirt bike was in I would say much worse shape than this bike. It was working fine, but the carburetor was all gummed up. It wasn't jetted fantastically, and it was kind of just a Frankenstein bike like every other dirt bike out there. Everyone, as soon as they buy it, they gotta mess with everything, all the jetting, the airflow, the header, exhaust, all that crap. So I got it working a lot better now, which is good, because it was a pretty daunting task, and even the carburetor was something that he didn't know a hell of a lot about. So we kind of picked it up together and learned it together, and it's always good to have an extra set of hands and nothing else. So I just wanted to talk about that quickly. I know everybody's coming from a different background of riding and different goals of riding, but just having someone who you can text if you get into the bike and something doesn't look the way you expect it to, you can send them a picture and say, hey, I really was expecting this to be easier to get out. Am I doing this right? Why isn't this coming off? Why is this blah blah blah? What should I do? And even if they don't know exactly what they're doing, they might have a better understanding of bikes in general. I learned a lot about gas and air and mixtures and carburetors and all that when I was working on the dirt bike, and a lot of the basics came from him. What was I pulling off the carb, and how was it affecting it as I was going through. So something to think about for all you new riders out there. If you go on group rides and you meet up with some guys, hopefully you make some friends, and not everybody's as lucky to have a family member that they live with to kind of help them out, but I think it's important. It's something that you should try to get into. And of course, the forums and stuff online are really helpful. You kind of got to take everything with a grain of salt. You can read one forum and there's two completely opposing answers on the same topic, and I guess you never really know who's right. But you got to realize that they're not necessarily professionals. Some guys are, I'm sure, and some guys say they are. But just try to think about what's going on, and always buy the service manual. So yeah, that's about it. Just out on a twisty ride today. I'll upload some videos of kind of the sweet sections and the exciting sections. So yeah, I hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching. Comment and subscribe, please, and stay tuned for more. Thanks.